This week's Patreon question from Teddy will be comparison of two Disney titles initially intended to be released direct-to-video that instead got the theatrical treatment. Which DisneyToon Studios film do you think is worse, Return to Neverland or Planes? For those of you who don't know, I had an ongoing series called Which is Worse, which compared two films of dubious quality, although still with a bent towards trying to find their positives. However, I've made the decision to move away from negative content, and so that series is pretty much retired. Consider this video a mini version of that series, but rather than say which is worse, I'm going to answer which is better. My preference of those two would be Return to Neverland. As far as DisneyToon's many sequels go, I do think this is one of the better ones. This is the logical route a sequel to Peter Pan would go, considering Jan Barry wrote an additional epilogue that touched on Wendy's daughter Jane going to Neverland. Return to Neverland does start off rather promisingly, and it's admirable the filmmakers decide to set the story during World War II, and we do see the effects of the Blitz on London and how this leads to Jane losing her interest in fantasy. I particularly have to praise the sequence where Captain Hook's ship flies through an air raid and towards Neverland. It's when we actually do get there where the film becomes rather standard. Return to Neverland is fairly light on plot. If you remove the end credits, it only runs a little over an hour and just seems to speed through the story. The first film was not that much longer, but still seemed to pack a lot more into it, as we see far more of Neverland and there are more action and storm fighting scenes between Peter Pan and Hook. The song choices are incredibly distracting, as the film uses modern pop music, which does not fit at all, especially at the end, which jumps from Second Star to the Right to a cover of Do You Believe in Magic? But I guess it could be worse. Hook could start singing Smells Like Teen Spirit for no reason. I'm also not sure why they replaced the crocodile with an octopus. Was the crocodile asking Disney for too much money? The voice acting is pretty decent though. Corey Burton as Captain Hook and Jeff Bennett as Smee are absolutely spot on, and their interactions are still as enjoyable as they were in the first one. Catherine Beaumont was brought back to voice Wendy again, but they then decide to replace her with Kath Soucie. Soucie is a great voice actress, and she does an okay job, but it feels like such a missed opportunity. But I nonetheless like that final scene between Peter and Wendy. Do I think Return to Neverland should have gotten a theatrical release? No, but it's okay, and ultimately a harmless continuation. As for Planes, I was mostly bored throughout it. I did see this one on the big screen, and the entire time I just wondered why I was not watching it at home. Like Return to Neverland, that was the original intention, but then Disney decided at the last minute it was worthy of the big screen, and subsequently replaced John Cryer with Dane Cook as the lead airplane Dusty Cropper. While the flying scenes are decent looking, there's not much shine and polish to the animation in Planes, although the sequel, Fire Rescue, was thankfully a step up in that direction. The characters are rather generic, including the main hero and the villain. The supporting planes are pretty much stereotypes, defined mostly by their nationality than any actual personality. The humor also falls flat, mostly relying on those aforementioned stereotypes and aeroplane puns. I think Planes also had the unfortunate timing of opening only a few weeks after DreamWorks Animation's Turbo, which had the exact same plot, but I thought managed to tell it with a lot more zest, energy, and memorable characters. I'm sure the toys made for Planes were wonderful though. So yeah, I think Return to Neverland is the stronger of the two. I do want to make one final comment about Neverland though, specifically the DVD, the Pixie Powered Edition. On the scene selection menu, I noticed the music was not from Return to Neverland, nor Peter Pan, but rather Steven Spielberg's Hook. Why? Peter Pan has some wonderful music Disney already owns the right to. Seriously, Disney, does TriStar know you use music from one of their films for a DVD menu? Anyway, sorry for that tangent, I just thought that was really odd. Thank you for your question, Teddy.